Hey everyone, it's Ashley Bernardi, founder and director of Nardi Media, and thank you so much for watching another episode of Crisis Comms, where we interview inspirational and influential people about how they're managing, innovating, and creating during this time of crisis. And we are in for a very special treat today because I am so excited to introduce you to my guest. It's one of my very dearest friends in the whole world, Heather Zimmerman, and her husband, reigning World Series champion, Ryan Zimmerman of the Washington Nationals. Ryan and Heather just launched a new nonprofit called Pros for Heroes COVID-19 Relief Fund, and it aids healthcare professionals right now. So excited to talk about it. Welcome, guys. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. We're excited to talk about it.
Awesome. So before we dive in for the new nonprofit you guys started, I want to hear about how you guys are managing at home. How's home life? How are you guys coping with everything and all this change?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're the same as everyone else, just, trying to survive the day. And, we're lucky. Our kids are 6 and 3. So I can't imagine having, a middle schooler or high schooler right now where you have to somehow help them learn and you have to almost go through middle school or high school again. And, so I feel for those parents a lot more. Ours is, we try and get an hour or so of some sort of educational stimulation in. Mm-hmm. If it's nice, the rest of the day we basically try and be outside.
Yeah, try and wear them out every day. And I mean, I think the worst part of this for everyone is just the stir craziness at home. And like Ryan said, I mean, we're probably in a more fortunate position than some, so we definitely are not complaining, but it's certainly a change of pace for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a mental health thing. Like I've been talking to so many people about going stir crazy at home. What are you guys doing to kind of help yourselves battle that stir craziness? How are you taking care of yourselves?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you got to try and stay positive. Look at the positive aspects of it. I've never spent this much time with my family and since we've been a family, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, so, that can obviously be good and bad sometimes. I mean, I don't think I'm going to lie. I think everyone would say the same thing when, everyone's around each other more than they ever have been. There's going to be a lot of good, but some bad as well. And I think that teaches you a little bit about each other. But, yeah, I mean, stay positive. Look at it as a good thing. There's no reason to, you can't do anything about it. So you might as well try and make the best of the situation.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, there's nothing we can do right now except stay home, take care of ourselves, and be safe. So you just kind of roll with the punches, go day by day, wake up in the morning and try to get some things on the agenda.
Awesome. Well, speaking of staying home, you guys have obviously had a lot of time to think about how you can help. And this goes into my next question, because you just launched this awesome cause called Pros for Heroes. So tell us about it, and also what inspired you to launch it.
Pros for Heroes is something, Ryan and I were actually sitting at home one night, a couple weeks into the quarantine. We'd kind of settled into our routine here and we're twiddling our thumbs and trying to figure out what it was that we could get involved with that would help people the most during all of this. So we actually reached out to some friends of ours that live here in Great Falls, and the husband is a doctor and works on the admin side at Innova Fairfax Hospital. They actually expressed to us that one of the biggest needs at the hospital was meals for their ICU staff. So we put our heads together and it went from there. And now it has completely snowballed into this amazing organization that we have had a lot of support in the DC area for.
Yeah, basically, Heather and I left meals last Easter weekend. So Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, the ICU doctors and nurses that got off of their shift at 7:00 got a chance to take a meal for themselves and every member of their family home that night. And then each day as well, we called in on a Zoom call at 4:00 that day, I think. So almost, a couple hours left on their shift, and got to personally thank as many of the ICU people that could get away from their stations for a quick 5-minute call. And honestly, I think that was more helpful than the food. For them to hear from someone from the outside and just know that the community is behind them and know that we appreciate what they're doing so much, I think, I think they really appreciated that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what an amazing way to help people on the front line, and also to to get people like me and everyone here at home involved in helping them. So it started with just food and providing food. Has it exploded to more? Because it sounds like you guys in the past 72 hours have raised a crazy amount of money. So what's next?
Yeah, so as of this taping, we have just over $300,000 that we have raised, and that has been since we launched 4 days ago. And I mean, just the outpouring of support from the local community has been absolutely amazing. You see that there's so many people in this area that are looking for a way to help, and obviously our frontline healthcare workers are number one. I mean, they're putting their lives at risk every day to try and keep, you know, those COVID patients healthy and keep themselves healthy as well. So now that we have made that amount of money, we realize that we can really do a lot more with it. So Ryan can talk a little bit about this, but he basically got his agency involved, and from there we've been able to really grow this thing in the last couple days.
Yeah, I think we've had, it's either somewhere around 20 or 30 of the local athletes that have donated, anywhere from a couple $100 to very substantial donations. And obviously those are a big part of the 300,000 we've raised, but if you look at the GoFundMe page, we have well over 1,200 people that have donated. So I think that's how this thing is going to keep going. And people, doesn't have to be a huge donation. I mean, a mask costs $1. So if you only have $5 to give, you give a $5 donation. Think of it as you might be protecting, 5 nurses or doctors that wouldn't have been able to have a mask. So it doesn't have to be a huge donation. But yeah, with having all this money now, they need it right away. So most of the time with philanthropic ventures, you kind of try and, save up money and then give a big donation somewhere. But
right.
as soon as we get the money, we're going to ship it back out. So yesterday we gave $100,000 to Inova Fairfax that they're going to actually use for PPE supplies. So, it started as meals and food and kind of taking care of them and their families at home. And now because of how fast it's spread and, my athlete buddies in the community, we're going to be able to protect them at work as well now. So it's turned into something pretty special, and we're just going to try and keep it going as long as we can.
That's amazing. And so just for folks that might not know, Inova Fairfax is one of the biggest hospitals here in the region. All 3 of my kids were born there. So there are so many amazing healthcare workers that are benefiting from this. Do you guys hope to expand this beyond just the DC region?
Yeah, we actually had a conference call this morning about that. So
Yes, in a couple of ways. We actually have been working very closely with Sage Bolte, who is head of the Inova Foundation. So the money, the $100,000 that we have donated thus far to Inova will actually be distributed among the local Inova hospitals in the Northern area. And then, as Ryan mentioned, we're accepting donations from anyone, anywhere. And along with that, we obviously will put the money towards whatever hospital people request. So we have actually had some people donate money, and a portion they would like to go to the Inova healthcare system, and a portion they would like to go to another hospital around the country where they may have a personal interest.
We're trying to kind of go through all that. That makes it gets a little bit more complicated. And obviously the purpose of the fund started locally, but now because it's blown up so much in, the next week or so, if it continues to go this way, we may have the ability to somehow make this a national campaign. But as of right now, we're still sort of focusing here in the DC, Virginia, Maryland area. Obviously Inova has, I think it's 7 or 8 hospitals around the area. We've had many questions from people about, MedStar hospitals and things like that. So those are the things when we're just 3 days old. We're still trying to figure all this stuff out. And we have a lot of great people to help us, thankfully. But these are all good problems to have. So I guess the best message is I can assure you that the money will be used for either meals or PPE equipment, and it's going to get used right away, right now, not for administrative things or, it's going to be used to help these workers. And I can assure people of that.
So inspirational and just so exciting for folks at home who have been thinking, how do I help? How do I help? So for everyone who's been watching this interview, they're thinking, okay, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I get involved? Tell us how.
So you can go to prosforheroes.org and you can make a donation right there on the GoFundMe page. And then if you want more information, you can also check us out on Twitter and Instagram at Pros for Heroes. We are trying to keep information updated as much as possible on those outlets.
Amazing. And at the time of this taping, you have over $300,000 in donations, and this organization is only 72 hours old. So that says something about, to your point, Ryan, maybe there's potential to make this a national campaign. I would say you guys are well on your way.
That's what we hope. I mean, it's amazing. We want to, and we hope to keep this organization going, this fundraising going as long as is needed, for as long as these healthcare professionals in the area are sort of still being inundated with COVID patients. So, I mean, we're looking to expand as quickly as possible.
Amazing. Well, Heather and Ryan Zimmerman, thank you both for joining me on this episode of Crisis Comms. I wish you the best of luck. And everyone listening at home, go and check out prosforheroes.org and get involved. All right, everyone. Thank you so much.